If you are someone who says, hey, I'll tell you what I'm about. I'm not about left and right. I'm about reasonable. I'm about truth. I'm about justice. I'm about the American way. Great. Then you should support the conviction of former Trump aide Peter Navarro. And here's why. As a matter of fact, he chose to ignore a congressional subpoena in deference to fealty, blind obedience to the former president. Now, here was his argument.
It was my duty to the Constitution of this country, my commander-in-chief, to do exactly what I did. And when I did it, it was Department of Justice policy. It was Department of Justice policy that I was in the right.
Demonstrably false. His legal team barely even argued that because it's not true. What he did was put his duty to Trump first. And that's not how the system works. The privilege argument that he was doing this for the president and the president has a privilege and he has to waive it, that doesn't apply to January 6th. The planning, which Navarro implicated himself in with words out of his own mouth, the judge rejected it, and a jury of your fellow Americans rejected it. They made this case quick in just a few hours, and the verdict came like that because it's a no-brainer. Because here's the bigger point. Okay? Navarro believes, apparently, that Trump will probably win and pardon him. That's the play, just like for Bannon, just like for the others. So they choose fealty, blind obedience to Trump rather than to the U.S. government and to the Constitution, which everybody loves to wave around until they actually have to follow it to their own disadvantage. So you should reject that. This is the opposite of what must matter in America. It's not politics. It's the policy of law and the administration of justice. Now, does Congress usually enforce subpoenas this way? Nope. Very rare. So, proof of political prosecution, right? No. Why not? Look, I've said many times I have deep suspicions about many of the legal actions involving former President Trump and current President Biden because I believe in prosecutorial discretion. I believe that you have to look at the kinds of potential crimes and what that process may mean to the public interest. Yes, no man is above the law, but prosecutors don't make every case. And low-level crimes against high-level people that have huge standing in society is something you should think about. But it's also why Navarro had to lose, because Congress is the high expectation. It is the value. And Congress can't have people ignore them without explanation or reasonable argument and just think they'll get away with it. And that's what Navarro thought. That's what Bannon thought. And that's why they got hooked, where other Trump aides, like who? Mark Meadows, Dan Scavino, did not. Why? Because they also said, we think there may be a privilege. We don't think that we should comply. But they worked through their lawyers with Congress and how to accommodate it. That's why you don't see charges there, but you see them here. In other words, Navarro and Bannon chose to defy the law, and they lost, as it should be, if it's not just political advantage you care about, but truth and justice. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.